What is good, YouTube? We're back with another JJK Phantom Parade video. One of the main questions that I get asked on stream, even in the comments, is who should I summon for? Global players, by the way. Who should I summon for out of Yellow Gojo and Itadori, the zone one? And I thought I may as well make this video. And I'm not exactly going to tell you who you should summon for in this video, but I'm gonna go through their kits. We'll go through both of their kits, brief. Well, I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as possible, and then we're gonna see how they play in game in the same tower stage. Quick disclaimer: it's a little bit unfair because my Gojo's duped to. I've invested more resources into him than I have my Itadori, but that's just because I personally prefer Gojo as my yellow DPS, but either way, we'll go through it. Just remember that Gojo will perform a little bit better just because of the two dupes that we have in him and the Phantom Seal. But yeah, let's get started on that anyway. Okay, so yellow Gojo. By the way, look, it says right here, standard. So you guys have to know. There's been a lot of talk around it. I know it's recently been confirmed where he is a standard unit. He will be going into the standard banner. We don't know when because he's still not in JP yet, but he will be eventually. He is not limited. But that being said, he is crazy. So, and a lot of people like to hold on the standard banner a lot. But remember, the one thing about the standard banner is the more units they add, the harder it will be to get the unit you're looking for. And there's no increase rates. No pity. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, quickly, his characteristic is when critical hits performed, it increases his own damage. Skill 1 it's a melee, 208%, and it has a taunt skill, which is a 35% chance to proc. And his skill 1 will be the skill you want to pop if you are looking to fill his ult gauge up, quicker. Skill 2, right here has the symbol for the limitless, but that it's only like this after his passive wears off. So when his passive wears off, then it will change into this, where you basically pop this, give yourself attack immunity for 3 turns, and you reactivate his passive. Which is obviously good because his passive, along with his skill 2, what it will be while his passive is up, will be just buffing his damage. So you're going to be popping that skill 2, skill 2, skill 2, and yeah, you're going to be raising your own damage along with your buffers on your team. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage. And his skill 3 does Jujutsu damage at 433%, and he debuffs the enemy by 30%, which you cannot stack. And his ult obviously hits 5 times and deals 1,500% Jujutsu damage, which is crazy. That's high damage. And it's AoE. Keep that in mind, it's AoE. Because if we're going to compare him to Yuji, who's always single target, yeah, so it's AoE. And his passive is he gets attack immunity the first 2 turns, and he basically increases his own Jujutsu special by 5% for 4 turns. So that, along with his skill 2, will be increasing his damage every single turn, and it will stack along with his buffers, and that will lead him to do crazy damage. And then we'll go on to Zone Itadori. He is limited, so just don't forget that Itadori is limited. He's a anniversary unit. Him, Domain Gojo, and Sukuna are all limited. Just keep that in mind too. He is a taijutsu focused character. His characteristic is he's resistant to poison soul damage, able to attack the soul. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what that means. I assume he's stronger against Mahito. I don't even know, but that it says that there. He can Black Flash, and when Black Flash is performed, he increases his own ability. Okay. Skill 1, he deals 240% taijutsu damage to a selected enemy. Skill 2, his skill 2 is where he shines, in my opinion, because it's not really much about the effect that it does to begin with. It's about what it does in zone. Okay, so but while he's not in zone, it does 423% taijutsu damage. That's 2 hits, and he increases his own ultimate skill his ultimate skill gauge charge rate by 20% for 3 turns, which is good because obviously what you want to do with this guy is charge his ult gauge, get his ult off, get into the zone, and then spam his skill 2. That's why he's good to run with cursed energy buffers like Yuki, for instance, because you want him to have a lot of cursed energy, because in his zone state he can attack twice, and then you'll be hitting this off, because while in zone state he gets 500, it goes up to 517 taijutsu damage to selected enemies, increases his own taijutsu damage by 30%. Once you go into the zone state and you hit this once, like, so you can attack twice, and then once you do, first action increases your crit rate and your black flash rate, your crit rate by 40% and your black flash rate by 15%, and the second one will just increase your overall damage dealt by 30%, which is crazy. This is where he'll get most of his damage from. You go into the zone, and then you hit this skill 2 twice, and then that's where most of his damage is going to be coming from. Skill 3 increases his own break damage, so this is good for break. Deals 520%. So let's say you still need to break the enemy and you're in zone state, you want to hit off your skill 3, so maybe hit skill 2 and then skill 3, or you know, you could do it the other way around depending on what buff you prefer. And then his ult deals 1500% taijutsu damage to select the enemy, and he goes into the zone state, and it's guaranteed black flash. Okay, it's passive. At the start of each turn, if zone state is activated, increase own taijutsu damage by 30%, increase black flash rate by 50%. This is two crazy buffs when he's in the zone state. It's the zone state. What you wanna do is get him in the zone state all the time. That's where you wanna live, and you know that's where he's crazy, because he's not that crazy outside of the zone state, in my opinion. Increases his own cursed energy consumption efficiency, and he recovers own cursed energy by 10. Can activate ultimate skill, performs an additional action 1 turn, so that means he can attack twice. Yeah, when Black Flash is performed, recovers own cursed energy by 5, and this guy will be Black Flashing a lot, provided, you know, a bit of luck is on your side and your crit Black Flash rate is up. And he's got Vessel Sukuna. At the start of the battle, he has immunity to poison, soul damage, and he has got immunity to instant death effects. So that's both for the characters there. I think one of Yuji's like one of his biggest advantages is that he is able to be ran with domain expansion Gojo, whereas obviously Teen Gojo can't be ran with domain expansion Gojo because he's a Gojo. And obviously, every team you want to run nowadays is going to have domain expansion Gojo on, because he's the best character in the game. But for me personally, I just don't think that's good enough for me to have him as my main damage dealer, just because there's another flaw to this guy that I feel like I prefer with Gojo, is that Gojo can handle not just one enemy, but because his ult is AoE, he can handle a field of enemies and wipe them out. Whereas Yuji, he can't really do that. Like, you want him just fighting a single boss. But yeah, that's that. Let's get into in-game real quick. Okay, we're on tower floor 26, I believe. This is the team we're gonna go in with Gojo, and we're gonna do the exact same team with Yuji instead. So yeah, let's start off with Gojo. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna do the single target floor, because Yeah, it's 26. Single target floor because we don't want to give Gojo too much of an unfair advantage, like showing how he can just wipe the field. But just remember, he can do that. And we got Mai up front because her debuff is just so good. Like I feel like I just can't run any team without her now. Like she's the best. But anyway, let's go like this. Yeah, let's go like this. And we'll start off with his skill 1 while he's got attack immunity just to get his ult gauge higher. Just to like speed the ult gauge up a bit while he's got his limitless active. See, look how high his ult gauge went. Okay, so we're gonna debuff there. And then we're gonna do this. We'll pop this because Yaga leaking a little. And then yeah, we'll skill 2 to buff his damage. And remember, this Gojo, unlike any other Gojo, does not leave the battle. Okay? So he doesn't leave the battle, not after any turn count, and you can hit his ult as many times as you want. That's like such a big upside, especially since I know a lot of people really don't like the fact that Gojos leave the battle. Even though really, if you're playing correctly, it doesn't really matter. We'll do that. No, we'll hit this, and then we'll buff one more time before Gojo hits his ult. Wow, he done a lot of damage to Gojo there. Okay, so we'll hit this. Then we'll ult here. Wow, he does do a lot of damage. Okay, so he does about 4 million damage there, which is crazy. Okay, we'll hit this. And then do we just end him with the skill 3? Yeah, and that's a wrap. This guy does a lot of damage. So yeah, that's crazy. But that's Team Gojo. It's my personal favorite, but now we'll just get into Zone Itadori. Okay, so I was like halfway through editing the video, and then I realized that the same stage that I brought Gojo in and I tried to bring Itadori in, they take decreased damage from taijutsu characters, which obviously is just even more of an unfair advantage for Gojo, considering Itadori is pure taijutsu. So yeah, so we're gonna go to stage 28, I think this is, because it doesn't have a decrease to damage taken from taijutsu. So yeah, we're gonna go into this stage, try and make it a bit more fair. Let's get into it. Okay, so like the Gojo one, we're gonna debuff there. Gonna hit this. Another disclaimer, I want to get his I'm running Inumaki here and stuff because I want to get his ult gauge as quickly as possible, but probably would be good to run Yuki if you have SSR Yuki, you know, or rare Yuki, either one, just to increase the cursed energy of Yuji here. But we'll do skill 1 so we can just build up some cursed energy first. Okay, so we're gonna keep debuffing. Skill 1 again. Oh, didn't stun Mai. That's crazy, bro. Not the GOAT, Mai. Okay, he's gonna be ready to go into the zone next turn. And we've conserved quite a bit of cursed energy. We haven't increased his damage with his skill 2 or anything like that, or his skill 3, but can hit this. Do this. Hold up, let's try stun. Then we'll hit this. So we're gonna hit his ult here. That was a good stun. Mess with that. We got Mai coming with the debuffs. Love her. Okay. So what does he do here? 1.4. It's good. It's good. But remember, his actual ult isn't where his damage comes from. 1.5 in total. His damage comes from his doing his moves in his, like doing his skills in the zone. So here we could choose to go skill 2, and raise his damage quite a bit, or we can go skill 3 and hope he breaks and then go skill 2. And that's what we're gonna do. So hopefully he breaks so that ult doesn't come off. Oh, so close. But then he breaks on the skill 2. Okay, so we're gonna debuff again. We're gonna hit this. And then we'll go skill 2. Let's see how he does. Okay, 450 on that hit. And then 854 on that hit, which is crazy. He is no longer in the zone because there's 2 turns. So debuff here. And then we'll use this to get his ult gauge back, because what we want to do is get him right back into the zone as soon as possible. Okay. I'm scared that this ult, I can't remember this boss. I'm scared this ult's gonna just kill us. But we'll go skill 1 again here. Okay, done less than I thought it was gonna do. Don't know why I was scared. Then we'll ult there. Okay, nice. And now after Yuji's gonna be ready to go back into the zone now. There goes Xena Monkey. Okay, and there's his ult. We'll see what that does. Oh, it kills. Okay, so that, what did that do? 1.2, which is pretty good considering he would have started to hit like what, like a million, 1.1 on his skill 2s from that point, and he would have done 4 of them. So before he got out of the zone anyway, so he is pretty good. It's just his damage is like over the course, like you get to that high damage point where you're hitting twice per turn. So yeah, he is crazy. But anyway, let me know down below what you think of these 2 units. Who do you think's better, and who you gonna summon for? Let me know. And we are so close. We are so close hitting our sub goal of 200 subs. So please consider hitting a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.